Ladies and gentlemen, hello. As you can see, one of your donation goals that you guys helped me reach on Twitch has finally been completed. The light is here, and I've adjusted a little bit the settings of my camera as well to compensate for that, so hopefully things look a bit better. Let me know what you guys think, and that's kind of just the little update there. But we have quite a few new decks. We have a few new decks in English that I haven't covered yet, and then we have a lot of new decks in Japanese that I haven't covered yet, so we're going to have a lot of these DifferentFight videos coming up. One thing I got to clarify immediately is that I will not, in this game, and just for me as a YouTuber, my mission is not to cover every single deck. I don't ever do, for the TCG, I never, do deck profile on everything. I don't even, talk about every deck. I cover them in the meta-analysis, here and there, but that's, as far as it goes. But then, same goes for Zero. I mostly just cover the decks that I like. So if I like a deck, I will build it and I'll cover it. But if I don't care about a deck, or for example, Shadows I still haven't covered. I'm going to cover them now in Japanese because, the rental system is there. But normally, if I don't care so much for a deck or don't build a deck, I don't do it. So don't, if I don't cover a deck at a certain point, or I don't do a deck profile, for example, Imperial Daughter, I'm not touching it. I'm not. There's going to be somebody else on YouTube that will, and you'll find them, and they'll cover it for you, and they'll tell you about it, but for me, I have no interest in it. I have the cards for it, but I just don't have interest in playing it, and I'm not going to cover it. So just wanted to clarify that, you guys don't have any misconceptions about what this channel is all about. I'm here to make my content the way I want to do it, and that's how it is. But today we have a special little video, because what we're going to be doing is essentially we're going to be showcasing Raizers. So I never did Perfect Raizer in Japanese, even though I do like the deck, but I never got the pieces for it. And so I got to wait until this rental system came out to be able to rent out the final pieces that are missing for the deck, which isn't even that much, but it is a fair bit. And so now that I have these final pieces, I essentially can show you the deck and talk about it in English, and then switch on over to the Japanese side and actually play with it and show you some gameplay. So we're gonna do it like that. So we're gonna take a look at it in English here. I have it built with the missing cards, and so this is Perfect Raizer. So this is what the deck looks like. There's a really good YouTuber that you can watch for it, which is 50 Cards. He went first place with it in the Japanese server way back when, in March, I want to say, or no, was it March? I think February it was, because this support came out in February in Japanese. Or no, in January actually, and then yeah. So I think in February he was first place. But anyway, so we're gonna take a look at it. We're gonna break down the cards and why we play what we play throughout this video, and then we're gonna switch on over to the Japanese side to use the rental deck system and play through it and show you that this deck can still compete in the set 6 meta in Japanese. So it's pretty good. All right, so Perfect Raizer. What he does is the main card of the deck. He gets plus 3k for each Raizer in your soul, and if you have 4 more Raizers in your soul, he gets an extra crit permanently for that whole game. So that's really, really good. Of course, this is only during your turn, so it's not during your opponent's turn. That'd be way too broken, but it is a good effect regardless, because you can easily, 4 Raizers in soul equals 23k, so he's hitting for magic numbers against cross rides, and then if you have 5 in your soul, then it's 26k, so it's literally just hitting for perfect numbers against 11k, and you can get over defensives and stuff like that, which is really important in this game. And then how do you get those 4 Raizers in soul? Well, you get 2 from riding, and then you get 1 more, well, the remaining ones from his third effect, which is no cost, to put all your Raizer rearguards into your soul. So basically you call down a bunch of Raizers, suck them all in, and you get this extra power, and it's pretty good for that reason. And so then, of course, the last effect is when you ride him, you may counterblast 2 to add a Battle Raizer to your hand. So this doesn't add from deck, this adds it from the void, basically, from nowhere. It just gives you a free grade 0 stand trigger that you can play down, and of course you can suck him into soul, you can put him back to deck, whatever you want to do, but usually you want to put him back to deck because it's an extra trigger, an extra draw after he boosts, and things like that. So this card, of course, is pretty nutty, and there's no real way to counterplay it. The only thing you can counterplay is this counterblast 2 to add a Battle Raizer, but even then, if they have the Raizers in hand, they can just put them into the soul and gain their crit, and there's not much you can really do about it. The kind of thing about the deck is that, of course, if they brick and they don't draw into their Raizers, deck doesn't really do much. And of course, the deck can run out of steam pretty easily. That's why you gotta run 9 draws, in my opinion, because you gotta keep drawing pieces. You have to minus quite a lot. You gotta put in a bunch of units from your hand into your soul. They're not coming back in any way, when you use Perfect Raizer. So you gotta play draws, you gotta run stuff like Kirara to actually draw into those pieces and, be able to still continue playing the game. And on top of that, cards like Raizer help a lot as well. So we're going to break down the remaining grade 3s here. Ashura Kaiser, I don't have any in English, but he is a tournament reward, and tournament mode is coming out probably in a month or so, and so you can get him for free from there just by playing the mode. So I don't recommend crafting him just yet. In terms of replacements, you can either play Lion Heat or Death Metal Droid. Same goes for the Cosmo Lord here as well. But a short Raizer skill is, of course, when you drive check a grade 3, you stand one of your rear guards. So maybe when you have your opponent at 5 damage already, you can basically ride into this and see if you have like a lot of triggers left. You can just go through, you know, a few stands, you know, get some more attacks out, and it's pretty nice. But of course, Perfect Raizer will be putting in most of the work here. He's just like the best other ride that you have, so that's why we play him. And so, of course, Cosmolord is a 13k attacker, so together with this one of Tough Boy, there's going to be a 21k attack. But otherwise, you can like rest 2 of your units to give him more power, so you can also do that. And then the last grade 3 is the Muscle Hercules, so this is basically an unplaced countercharge. You can rest a little bit in this deck, but I think it's enough to justify this, because like you want to be using your Kiraras as much as possible. And like I run Brutal Jack as well, which like you do want to use as much as you can as well. So I think that for those reasons, it's okay to run this countercharger. But if you want to disagree, then feel free to disagree in the comments. Like, it's all good. So then, in terms of grade 2s, like we said, Brutal Jack is a can almost 1 to lose restraint, but he's 11k base, and he's 16k attacker when boosted on Vanguard Circle. But 11k base rearguard, of course, is really important because it makes it hard for your opponent to hit you. And then if they don't hit you, well, then they can't reach your Vanguard. And then, but if you don't have Brutal Jack, you can play like the 10k vanilla or something. Kind of does the same thing, but you know, Brutal Jack does it a bit better. So then Kirara, of course, counterblast 2 to draw a card if it hits anything. So it's also really good. This is like your main counterblast sink in the deck. So that's why you want to run counterchargers like the Muscle Hercules for that reason. Then our Raizers. So we have Trance Raizer. When placed, you check the top card. If it's a grade 2 or less, you call it. And if it's a trigger, so a grade 3, then you shuffle your deck and put it back. So for that reason, this card is great. It's a free +1. It's a Raizer you can suck into Soul for a Perfect Raizer skill. It's pretty great. And then the double rare that I don't have at all, which is High Power Raizer Custom. I don't have this card in Japanese either, just like one copy. So his skill is, during your turn, if Battle Raizer, so the grade 0 starter, is behind this unit, he gets +8k. So he's 16k, 19k if you boost it with the Battle Raizer. So this can hit, you know, magic numbers on turn 2, which is pretty good. You do want that. You do like that, so it's pretty nice for that reason. And again, it's a Raizer you can suck into Soul, but you kind of want to suck in the grade 1s more than anything, because these are, of course, your interceptors, so there's a very limited amount of them, so you got to be careful. Then, of course, 4 PGs, no questions asked. The Tough Boy I already explained. Our Raizers, the Burst Raizer is, like, his effect is useless, but he's a Raizer that you want to suck in. Same goes for Raizer Custom. He's a 12k attacker when you have Battle Raizer behind him, but outside of that, you kind of just want to suck him into the Soul, or ride him turn 1. It's also pretty good. And then, of course, Battle Raizer is our starter, so he's a Raizer, and at the end of the turn that he boosted, you can draw a card and put him back to your deck as a stand, so pretty good. And of course, we run 9 draw for heal, because as I said, this deck can run out of steam. You got to commit a lot of cards from your hand just to fulfill Perfect Raizer's requirement, so you need the draws to be able to keep drawing into pieces and attacking your opponent so that you don't have to smack with that big Perfect Raizer to your opponent's rearguard. So that's pretty important. But so we're going to take this exact deck now to the Japanese server, and I'm going to show you that this deck can still fight in the set 6 meta in Japanese, you know, just as it is right now. Like, there have been some changes to the deck in Japanese, but we're going to just take a look at it. So let me just switch around here. Alright, so here we are on the JP server, so we're going to go into a ranked game, and I'm going to show you guys the power of Perfect Raizer. It's going to be the exact same list. The way that this deck changes next month when Azure Dragon comes out is, like, you basically put in the Beast Deity pieces, for like extra attack power, extra consistency, and extra rush and stuff like that. So it's pretty good for that reason, but we're going to play it out here. Where is it? Right there. So let me just change to the event Kamui and actually put on some sleeves here as well. What do I have for Nova unit sleeves, actually? Alright, you know what? We have Perfect Raizer himself. Let's just play the Perfect Raizer sleeves. It's going to look pretty good, so once again, just to confirm, exact same deck, exact same build. I have some more cards here and there, but of course, this is the tournament, this is the rank reward Perfect Raizer that you get in one of the later seasons. And of course, here I'm missing 1 Perfect Raizer, as well as 3 of the High Power Raizer customs. But apart from that, everything is the same. So let's go and try to win with this deck in ranked right now in the set 6 meta. So where Majesty Lord Blaster is dominant, where Shadows are dominant, Kagero is dominant, Pale Moon is dominant, you know, where all those decks are really strong, but this deck is still really good, even without the, like, Beast Deity support. But of course, you know, maybe I'll show you guys at the end of this video how you can upgrade this deck going forward in the Japanese meta. Because of course, you know, this deck does get better, but right now it is just this pure version that I wanted to show you guys because, of course, it does put in work. So I'm going to be playing against Kagero here, so that's going to be pretty interesting. So let's take a look at it. Looks like people in the Japanese server are still recommending to play this deck the way that it's built, just with, like, more Brutal Jacks and stuff like that. Alright, so we got our Perfect Raizer. That's pretty good. And we're going to keep this hand, I think, because basically we don't need these grade 3s right now. And we do want, like, we'll hopefully draw into a grade 1 Raizer to ride, but if not, it's okay, we'll ride the PG. But let's see. Alright. So looks like our opponent might be disconnecting. Let's see if they load up. Alright, we managed to draw into the grade 1 Raizer, so that's also good. So we don't have to, you know, overcommit for no reason here. So we're just going to ride up here and put this behind and pass. That's basically what the deck wants to do. And then next turn we're going to ride the high-powered Raizer Custom. If he gives us 2 damage, we can use the Kirara as well to draw ourselves an extra card. So that's going to help us to achieve Perfect Raizer's condition. So we're going to see Kagero is a pretty okay matchup for the deck, I would say, because you don't lose too many of your important pieces in the process, and so it's pretty alright overall in my opinion. So let me just see, I think the volume might be a bit too low for the game, so I don't want to have that. But yeah, so although this little paw mark that you see next to the card, that means it's a rental card. This rental mode is only available actually on the day I'm recording this until today, so it's ending today, and of course I gotta record a bunch of these videos for a bunch of different decks, so it's also pretty interesting. Alright, we lose a Burst Raizer unfortunately, but it's okay. We still have a lot of Raizers in the deck. And of course, a lot of people ask, you know, how do you view your deck? I can't seem to do it in English. That's because it doesn't exist in English yet. They added this eventually. Alright, so we're going to write the High Power Raizer Custom. Wow, I slurred my words there. Apologies for that. And I think, I kind of want to just swing here. So then next turn I can put him to 3 damage with the Perfect Raizer. Or I can call down the Kirara, but then I kind of want to use a draw effect. So I think we're just going to swing here. Unboosted or maybe boosted, because if he has the Tejas he can just attack, so I think I'm going to boost. I'm a little bit afraid of him having the Tejas, so because a lot of Kagero lists run it. I think almost every Kagero list runs Tejas now because it's the counter to Royal Paladin and stuff like that. Alright, we draw a Trance Raizer. That's pretty good because that gives us a shot at maybe getting that second Raizer that we need to achieve Perfect Raizer's condition. So we're going to see what we do. I really like the tournament, the rank reward art of Perfect Raizer a lot more too. I think it looks super nice. But yeah, so high powered already in the souls. Now we have we're gonna have 2 Raizers in the soul already. We're just gonna need to somehow ride up. So here this first swing from Perfect Raizer is gonna be, we're gonna probably be able to put him to quite a bit of damage. Depends if we can draw a booster or not, because basically we're gonna be able to attack once with something like this or this. And then, oh yeah, actually he's going to give us a second damage to get the Burst Raizer, or even the Battle Raizer. So we are going to have the soul requirement, but then we're not going to be able to have the extra power there. So let's see, he's going to swing here, no trigger, but we are going to be taking 2 damage here, so we're going to be going to 3. And that's pretty good because I can ride Perfect Raizer. Ooh, we got a draw as well, so he's still going to hit, but the draw is definitely appreciated. There's a high powered as well, that's pretty good to see. Well, let's see what we get here. So this is going to be pretty nice because we're going to take 2 damage, and so we're going to get to counterblast 2 to get a Battle Raizer, and then on top of that, we can countercharge 1 with the Muscle Hercules and then still hit with the Kirara to draw a card. So I do like that quite a lot. I just need a booster here off this Trance Raizer, that'd be pretty great. Okay, we get another Perfect Raizer. Actually, think I like that a bit more. That's pretty good, actually. Alright, let's ride the rank reward, see the animation. The animation is really good. I'm glad that they made a new one for this. So we're going to be able to use a skill, invoke it to counterblast 2, and add a Battle Raizer. That's pretty good. And then I think I'm just going to go for this Trance Raizer and see what we can gamble out of it. Ooh, perfect. Perfect. That's what I wanted to see. So now I don't need to commit anything else, basically. But I'm thinking this is going to be a cross ride, most likely, the end. So I think I'm just going to suck up the 2. Let's just suck up the 2 and get that crit. Alright, that works. That works just fine. Alright, so what we're going to do now is call down this Muscle Hercules to countercharge. That's good. And then we're going to call down this and draw a bunch of cards. So I think that's also a pretty good play here. So let's just go battle, take out this rearguard. And we're going to put our opponent basically to 4 damage, and that's going to be pretty good. Alright, we got 1 down. So we're going to be able to draw a card off the Kirara and then draw 1 card off the Battle Raizer, which is also really nice. Alright, so it's going to go to 2 damage here. Kirara comes in, counterblast 2, draw a card, a Cosmo Lord, that's okay. We're going to need that 13k attacker for later on, and then this is going to be a 23k plus 1 crit. Perfect Raizer swinging to face a PG and a Trance Raizer, that's okay. As long as we put him up to 4 damage, I'm pretty happy. Alright, he doesn't heal. There's his 10k boosters out. Now we're going to get to draw 1 more off the Perfect Raizer. Off the Battle Raizer. God, their names. So many names. But we drew into 2 draws, which is a bit unfortunate, but it's okay. We're not running out of steam anytime soon. Although we do need boosters, though, to actually hit good numbers here. So that's going to be a bit tricky. But yeah, it's pretty good so far. But yeah, Perfect Raizer puts in a lot of work, so now we're going to be just taking out his Perfect Guards. Of course, he did use the Conroe to search himself the Perfect Guard, but now he rides the end, so he's not going to be cross-riding, so I could actually suck in one more Raizer next turn. I might just play down the perfect Raizer to suck it in to have 26 so I can hit perfect numbers against this deck. So I think that's pretty important. And so he's just going to call down this, so he's only going to swing like this, then swing the end to face, and maybe Persona Blast to do the restand, and then he's going to be able to swing with that Berserk line, either to face or to rear. We're going to see where he goes with it. Alright, there's a bar. Does he get a trigger off the second check though? Ooh, he gets a crit, so my PG will trigger and he won't be able to use the end skill. So that's something. Alright, we see quite a lot of these, like, critical, the end lists. When the deck came out, most people ran it with just draws, but now we see more and more people running the crit variants. It's pretty interesting, and probably, I'm assuming he's going to hit my rear. There's no real reason. Oh no, he's going to give me the 4th damage, okay. So that means my heals will go online, which is also nice for me. Unless I get it here. Okay, I don't. I get that Battle Raizer. It's whatever. Doesn't really matter too much. So, what we're going to do now is, we're going to be 23k on our turn. So I want to suck in one Raizer just to get... Okay, we got a booster too, that's pretty good. So we're not going to ride. What we're going to do is call down this perfect Raizer, and I'm going to use this skill to just become 26k so that I can get over his defensives no matter how many times. And now I think I'm just gonna call down some rears, honestly. I think I'm just gonna call down some rears here and smack him a little bit. Give him a good smacking. Or what I'm gonna do actually is gonna be swing here, swing to face, and see if he has a PG, which he does because he searched it, and then we're gonna just smack rear and not let him take too much advantage here. I think that's the play. I don't have any more PGs left or anything, so I gotta be careful. Otherwise I'm gonna lose this game, so I gotta be careful here. He seems to be disconnecting, which is a little bit annoying, but I mean, it is what it is. Ooh, we get a draw. Can we draw perfect guard? I think we saw too many go to the bottom though, so I'm not getting too hopeful. Ooh, the heal is big though. The heal is big. He gave us that heal too by giving us the 4th damage. He could have avoided that, but he chose not to. But here, the perfect guard's gonna come through. There is the Bari. Alright, so PG gone. I'm just gonna take out his rear here, so he doesn't get too many attacks out. Of course, my grade 2 is really easy to take out because it's only a grade 2 with 8k power. But regardless, you know, everything counts. Gotta be careful. Of course, a Berserk will also take care of it, so I need to keep that in mind. There's a lot of things to keep in mind in these matchups, especially when you use these decks that haven't been supported in quite some time. But alright, for our opponent, looks like he lost connection, but maybe he'll come back to show us the power of the end. Ooh, he actually runs a lot of crits, because the end is a crit, and his Overlord is a crit. So, and we haven't seen a single heal yet, because his Dual Axe is a draw. So what I'm thinking is, he runs 9 crit 4 draw. This man doesn't run heals. And that's pretty spicy information, or like 1 heal, which is also spicy in its own right. That's pretty interesting. That is pretty interesting. Let's see what he does. So right now he's timing out. He's losing connection. Maybe he went underground, you know, in a tunnel on the train. Maybe there's like a storm going on. There was a storm yesterday in Tokyo, and I think that maybe, you know, losing connection might be part of it. But let's see. He's timing out. He's got 2 bars of time left. Not the way I wish to show off this deck, but I mean, I gotta show how it runs, how it turns, what it does. But it's honestly really easy. You just gotta, like, when you suck in the Raizer to Soul for a perfect Raizer, you gotta think about, you know, what are you trying to achieve there? You know, what are you trying to get out of it? Alright, he's down to 1 bar of time. I don't think he's gonna be able to come back. I think he's just gonna time out and disconnect, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Let's see. Oh, yeah, he's running out of time. Missing every single phase. And we're going to be able to just try and win it here, so let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. Alright, so I'm going to right skip, of course. And so here, what I want to do here is, I'm just going to play down this, and we're going to just get groovy here. So we're going to swing with this, see if he has a PG or not. Maybe he'll come back and still be able to PG, but I don't know, man. I'm pretty doubtful. We whiff a heal, but that's okay, because at least now I get a confirmation here that I can kill with this line. Alright, he got that second PG. Does he have a third one, though? Or am I going to win before he even comes back? Let's take a look at it. Alright, hit him with 1 damage. Ooh, the last one of his 10k boosters. And the final attack, does he have a PG? He does not. Muscle Hercules is going to punch through. And I don't think this man plays heals, so... Oh, nope. He does. He does. Wow. I feel like that's a one-of, honestly. Looking at his trigger lineup, I think that's a one-of. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Imagine, you got 1 heal in your deck and that's it. But now normally the game, if you time out twice from disconnecting, the game just auto-load, you get an auto-loss. So I think normally we're still going to win it here due to this disconnect from our opponent. But of course, these things happen, you know, you just gotta, like, move on. get along with the fact that some people just disconnect, and you know, we gotta wait it out a little bit, but it's okay. Just takes a couple minutes. It's not too bad. But let's see. Normally now, yep, it just gives you the win because your opponent, it says here, your opponent timeout, went to timeout twice. So that's the auto win. So that's basically the deck. I mean, it's really simple to play. It like builds itself in my opinion as well, because it's quite simple. So here I pay the rental cost, but I don't want to, you know, bore you guys too much. So we're only going to just show one game with this deck. Of course, the ending was a bit anticlimactic because of that disconnect, but the, you know, you still got to see how the deck turns, you know, how you can draw into your Raizers, how to, you know, build the perfect Raizer up in order to hit magic numbers and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys still like that. So again, let me show you guys the deck in English. Let's just go back to BlueStacks here. So this is what the deck looks like. In my opinion, this is pretty good. It gets the job done, and it's honestly just a pretty nice build because, like, you can also, if you have 4 Assuras, you can play 4 instead of the 2 Cosmo Lords. You can just play 1, for example, and stuff like that. And then some people play like 4 Brutal Jacks. I have 4 Brutal Jacks in Japanese actually, but I chose not to play it. And then you basically just play 4 of those, and then like you max out on like, you play like 3 Kiraras. Like I think the Japanese list right now is like 4 Brutal Jack, 2 Kirara, 3 High Powered, which I kind of question that. I think as many Raizers you can get is good. And then people, like this last grade 1 slot, which is the where I play the Tough Boy, you can play like Shout there or something to just like, you know, cycle through, make sure you draw into your Raizers. That also helps as a 1-of. So it kind of depends on what you want from it, basically. So yeah, that's the perfect Raizer deck. It's really, really strong. It's by far the best right now in the game, in my opinion. It's the best deck until next month when Majesty Lord Blaster and The End and Phantom Blaster Overlord come out, but that's going to be pretty hype. But those decks are their own, but you can also check those out. But oh, I forgot, of course you can merge this deck with the Beast Deities if you want, so like with the Zerg Dragon and the Black Tortoise and stuff like that. But of course, as I said, it looks like in Japanese they still play just pure without merging, and they say that that's the better variant, so we're going to keep it as that because I think that's maybe a little bit more consistent. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.